there's a lot of people that say all the time, he's not ready to go. Don't ruin the guy. Don't ruin a person's career. And I agree. I couldn't wholeheartedly believe it with this too. People sit here and say that stuff is because there's so many cliches and overused terms that really don't describe what the game of football really is. Shaun King puts it in perspective as a guy who's a former offensive coordinator, as a guy who's been a quarterback in the league. He understands that you just don't wake up one day and decide to know what's going on with this football team. He tells it like it is. He says, listen, this is why the Cleveland Browns got a problem and why they should be playing the young guys.
Your perspective as a former offensive coordinator and play caller. She said specifically, which I agree, the quarterback competition stunted some growth. Now, when you have Joe Flacco and you give him Pickett the majority of the reps, and then you jettison Pickett off and he ain't on the roster, then the young guys don't get reps or not even throwing the guys, and then you end up with Joe Flacco kind of, playing a little bit the last part of the preseason, and now it looks like, well, the receivers ain't on the same page, timing is wrong. How much time do you believe it takes for a guy to get ready in the preseason and play football games? And do you think the Browns fumbled the bag on a quarterback competition that was a fake quarterback? It was fake news.
Well, G. Bush, you are officially my spirit animal, because I was going to actually piggyback on that point that Mary Kay made. Shout out to Mary Kay, one of the best in the business, by the way. She said, and I think I'm quoting her correctly, hopefully Coach Stefanski and the Browns learn that you can't have a 4-person quarterback competition. I'm going to contextually align that with my opinion last week. For those that didn't watch, that aren't on social media, you should be. Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show, one of the best shows in the country. I said they should move away from Joe Flacco, not because I think Flacco was not capable on some levels, but because I think the ceiling is so low this season for the Browns. They need to find out what they have in Dillon Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders. You asked me as a coordinator, the reason I would never have a 4-man competition, if we've only got 12 plays a team in practice, how in the hell do I fairly divide up 12 reps? Thinking that 4 or 5 of them are run plays anyway. Now I don't get a chance to really see what I have. What am I really evaluating? That's what they're doing now. They're not going to win this year because they're not that good. So you might as well get a large sample size of Dillon Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders, so at the end of the year, you can better evaluate what you have. You might not have what you think is a franchise quarterback, but you might have what you think is a very good safety net as a backup. You might come away thinking, you know what, we got a franchise quarterback. We can look in other directions in how to build a team. But they've got to find out. And you're not going to find out with both of those guys sitting on the sideline for the majority of the season.
Shaun, I completely agree with you. I would play Dillon Gabriel this week, but they won't, unfortunately. What would you say to the people, and this drives me crazy, I'm curious your take on this. What would you say to the people who say, he's not ready yet? This could ruin his career because the Packers have a good defense. What would you say to those people?
So this is all about leadership, guidance, and expectation, right? And she also talked about Stefanski being kind of colorless, in his post-pre, during the week interview sessions. This is where I think he has to come out and be the leader of the organization and say, we're not giving up on the season, but we have 2 talented young quarterbacks that we want to get experience. We want to find out what they're capable of handling from a success standpoint, from a failure standpoint. We're not as worried about how they're playing versus Green Bay and Detroit the next 2 weeks. We want to see are they playing better as we get into December with Chicago and Buffalo. That's what playing these guys early is about. Not going out there with the expectation that Dillon Gabriel is going to become the next reincarnation of Steve Young, or that Shedeur Sanders is going to become like the next reincarnation of Legendary, like he invented that himself. You just want to start the process of them getting better, right? You want to start the process of them getting better. And if you're honest with your fan base, you're honest with your locker room, they'll embrace that.
Right.
Listen,
I
we
agree.
got to rally around these guys. One of these guys could be the future of this organization, but they've got to play them to find out. You're not going to find out them standing on the sideline. And as long as they're standing on the sideline, what could possibly happen outside of Joe Flacco getting injured that would make you transition from they're not ready now to they are ready in 4 weeks?
Dang, that was
Damn
clip
right.
that.
Damn right.
I'm gonna use that. That is the greatest. Them talking points is dead.
Let's
I got
go.
that on repeat.
Yeah, we got that on repeat. And I told him I was going to use that. And I did clip that. And I really put it in this because that is exactly what needs to go down. See, the problem is you guys think y'all don't understand what true leadership is. There's a lot of people. There's a lot of people in life. You got less than 5% of people that's running around here that are true born leaders. True born leaders that can lead people, that can lead them to a promised land, that can inspire them, that can instill something in them they didn't even know they had. But the problem is this. Y'all be running around thinking because somebody is conservative, close to the vest, and won't tell you how they feel, that that's a good trait. No, it ain't. It's not a good trait because you don't never know. People can't read what you think because you say the same thing every time. And what happens when it's monotone? What happens when it's the same thing? It's the same conversation. It's the same level. It ain't no up, ain't no down. I'm not mad. It's the same even kill stuff. That even kill stuff don't work on everybody, bro. It don't work on everybody. And Shaun said something that was important. If you are honest with people, we talk about politics, right? When people are honest, no matter if you agree with them or you don't agree with them, people will have an affinity to giving you the benefit of the doubt. Because more than anything, people can respect, even if rightly or wrongly, right? It's something else to be said about a person that's unapologetic about who they are and what they stand for, right? So when you're Kevin Stefanski and you go and you say, look, well, what is he going to tell the veterans in the locker room? You don't think they understand what it is? I go to Joe Flacco. Hey, listen, here's how we're going to have this conversation. Joe, you're an adult. You've been in this league a long time. Let me tell you how this thing going to work this year. We're going to roll with you until you don't play well. When you don't play well, I just want you to know you're going to come sit by me. How long you in the game is dictated about how well you play. It could be 1 game. It could be 3 games. I'm just telling you honestly, this is how it is. Because it's my responsibility to look toward the long-term value of the organization. And long-term, we know that's not what we're doing here. But we're going to give you the opportunity. We're not dumb. If you want to come out and light it up, we're going to keep playing you, right? Hey, Miles, Garrett, let me talk to you real quick. Listen, we really can't trade you like that. But what we're going to do is we're going to make it worth your while. We're going to make you the highest paid defensive player in the game, right? We're not going to kill you. We're not going to work you too hard. Listen, at the end of the day, what I want you to do, yeah, you're working to get into the Hall of Fame. We understand that. But here's what I'm going to tell you. We got 2 young guys. I need your help. See, that's the thing. When you're a leader and you ask for somebody's help, that is something to be said about that. Hey, Miles, I need your help. Guys look up to you, and it's going to be a tough uphill battle. I know you up for the challenge, right? Joe's going to play a little bit, but until Joe play, and when it get nasty, we going to go to some of these young guys. I need you to put your arm around them. I need you to make sure that the rest of the guys still pull in line. I need you to make sure that when guys don't want to practice, you ready to go. And you telling them, no, we ain't about to do that. I need you to instill some faith into these young dudes. Right? Great. Awesome. You go to your coaching staff. Hey, Jim, let me talk to you, Jim. Listen, I know we're going to be tough for some points. We're going to be tough for some points this year. What I want you to do, Jim, let it all hang out. Your game plan is your game plan over there. If you got to be aggressive, be aggressive. Listen, if you miss, if we going to go down, we're going to go down with you pulling the trigger and being aggressive on it. If it means blitzing, if it means getting creative, if it means being a mad scientist, do it. But I want you to keep those guys over there together. I want you to motivate them. You got free reign to create and motivate them the way you want to motivate. Boom. You go to Andrew Berry. Hey, Andrew, let's talk about this. Our job, we're not getting up out of here alive if we got to show something this year. And I know we can go out here and we can get Kenny Pickett and we can get Joe Flacco and we can do some of those things, but that is not going to guarantee us our job. We got to be, I promise you, we're going to be aggressive with the young kids, because if we hit on the young kids, we can write our own ticket. But if we come out here playing it conservative and think we're going to last this season, we won't last that way. So what we need to do is we need to make sure that we get stuff around them in terms of weapons, in terms of protection, so that we can do some things and we can give them the best chance to succeed. If we empty out whatever we have in a repertoire, and as long as we doing it in a way that we put a something on the field where we say we can show some promise, I don't have a problem going to the ownership and D and Jimmy and saying, listen, this is what we try to do. And at least if we do that, I went down swinging my way. Hey, Tommy, let me come talk to you, Tommy. Hey, listen, I know I'm the head coach. Here's what we want to do. You got these young guys. Those young guys have played in non-traditional offense at Oregon and with throwing the ball and doing some things with Shedeur Sanders. I want you behind the scenes. I want you putting together a package that'll work specifically for each of them. When those guys get in, you're going to be intricate part of what we're trying to do and getting them comfortable. It may not be traditional drop back Joe stuff and Pickett stuff. It may be a little something different, but I want you working with them on two tracks. We got one track where we gonna prepare Joe and some of the guys, but I want you working behind the scenes to get what's best for these two guys to make and show and prove that they get the best foot forward. Right. And as this thing moves along, I'm going to be giving you more on your plate. I think you can handle it. You've done it. You've done it at Alabama. See, when you talk and you preparing people for what's coming up, you could do some things. You can imagine, you can give responsibilities. But when you're talking about that milquetoast stuff and we got to get better, we just got to coach it up better, that ain't it. When you publicly say to somebody, we're going to give Tommy that responsibility, and I think he's going to do a damn good job of getting the young guys ready. You know what Tommy Reed's going to do when he go home? He about to burn that midnight oil because he know you publicly said, I got trust in you. But that's emotional. That's the problem with y'all out there. A lot of y'all sit back up here and want to talk and move around like y'all know what the game is. You can't talk the game and feel the game without no emotion. You got to be able to tell somebody something that they going to believe it. That game is the hardest game in the world to play. Your body hurt. You're doing long hours. You ain't seeing your family. You tired. You ain't got a contract. They talk about they ain't paying you no fifth year. And you still got to go out there and play some of the best people in the universe at this game that's savage-like. But you want to talk about you're too emotional. Man, you can't do this without being emotion. Devoid of emotion, this game is impossible. And Kevin Stefanski and Andrew Berry, that emotion ain't coming out them calculators, abacuses. And as you can see, when you don't inspire people, pretty soon the play is uninspiring. Pretty soon, I can't help but notice a lot of people that went to Alabama was motivated on a high level. Jerry Jeudy, Jed Wills. When you went to Alabama, that wasn't allowed. The Cleveland Browns got change coming. Just like the fall and the leaves, change is coming. It is up to them how deep that change is. It could be a change at quarterback. It could be a change at head coach. It could be a change at general manager. It could be changing the philosophy of the organization. Because if they think that they can hold on to 2 first-round draft picks and think that that's going to hold the fan base, the local media and the national media in place while they lose games, cash checks, and go back and do it again, it's not going to work. It ain't even working right now in this week, too. You ain't even got to a bye week. That's how quickly life changes when you actually have to stand on performance, wins, and losses. This is not the offseason.